All righty. Welcome, Katie. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for signing in today for our first virtual Copper Valley Virtual Adventures Farming Tour. And Amanda will go over expectations, but I expect that Katie's going to be pretty good. Just can go through that pretty quick.
Okay, so things just tend to run better if you keep your mic off while you're talking, or unless you're talking. So if you want to ask a question or something, just go ahead and unmute, or you can type in the chat. And so most of our presenters are going to have their mics off while other things are going on, just to keep things smooth. And so you can also, use the chat anytime you have a question or a comment. We'd love to hear any feedback or anything you're wondering. And if you could just, find a quiet spot, put away any distractions you have, animals or anything, and then just be an active listener, because we have some really great things to show you today, some really exciting animals and plants and these awesome farmers who put so much hard work into everything they do. And so please ask any questions that you might have throughout this. Just feel free to type in chat or raise your hand or grab the mic whenever you want to. So we can get started here.
All right, I'll start off the introductions. I'm Russ Scribner from Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve, and Amanda was just talking. You want to introduce yourself, Amanda, a little more?
Yeah, sure. My name is Amanda. I work for the Bureau of Land Management with the youth programs, and we have a lot of other exciting people around here too.
Good. Like Kenny. Kenny, where are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Kenny Steck, and I am on location at the Buck Family Farm, Escalation Acres, and happy to be here with you. Thanks.
Deal. And our hostess with the mostest, whatever that means, Robin Mayo.
Hi, this is Robin Mayo from WISE, and I am here at Flint Family Farms.
All right, take it away. Show us this wonderful place.
All right. Yeah, okay, we gotcha. So I'm here at Flint Family Farms with Bob and Linda Flint, who are the farmers and owners. I'm gonna switch it to a different view, so hopefully we can, there they are in front of the first greenhouse. Yeah, we're gonna go on in their first greenhouse and have a look at what's in here.
This is our upper greenhouse that's attached to our garage. It's kind of our first greenhouse that we get going in the spring before it gets too warm. We'll put our tomatoes out here in their little 10-inch pots, and then as time goes on, we transfer them all over. But these are, this is my greenhouse. Bob started all the plants, but these are the ones I take care of. And we got our cherry tomatoes. You can see that some of them are starting to ripen. Yay. And we've got green beans here. I tried planting some green beans outside this year too. Usually I have about double the amount in here, but I wanted to get away from doing them in here so much because we had pest problems, mostly spider mites. So I was like thinking that that would maybe solve that problem, but I just couldn't trust it all to the outdoors, thank goodness, because the outdoors is not doing very well. But then we also have our Italian peppers and our sweet peppers in the middle there. And we're getting a pretty good crop of those. And then on the other far wall is our jalapeno peppers that we'll use to make our jalapeno pepper jelly or candied jalapenos. Then I'll just pickle some for ourselves, hopefully if we get enough of them too. But then I've got a few stray things. I'm trying some delicata squash this year, and it's getting one fruit maybe, so not too sure about that. But I've got to try something every year, something different. But we've had good success with our tomatoes. I've already gone through and started pruning off some of the leaves, and I decided this year to stop their growth, basically. I've caught anything that's blooming, I've left alone, but anything that was a bud or just a growing point, I tried to clip off. I initially was going to let the suckers grow this year, but I decided that it was getting too pushy, so I decided that wasn't a good idea. So then I started pruning off all the suckers. It's quite a job. Spend about half hour every day coming out here and pruning and tapping to pollinate. I usually take a stick and go through and pollinate since I don't trust the bees enough. But,
So what variety is this? They're ripening nicely. You've got some beautiful ripe ones. I'm going to try and get close enough to see some ripe tomatoes.
we have, those are the sweet, sun sweets, well, sun sweet 100s, I think. We have some sun golds, and then we have some black cherry tomatoes. Those are our 3 that we grow. And then this year we have some rogue cherry or something that are not what we thought they were, I don't think. They're so different than the others. So it'll be interesting to see what they turn out to be.
Cool. There's a creative water system in here that I'm going to let Bob tell you about.
Well, what we did is we have gutters. Our building is 54 feet long, so gutters on both sides. And then we have exits on this end, on both ends here. And it goes through the pipe into a 2,500 gallon water storage tank. And that's how we water. So it tempers the water instead of well water, which is like 34 degrees. It tempers the water, plus we don't have to use our well so much. And it seems to be working out pretty good so far. And plus we have an injector, which we put fertilizer, fish emulsion, and it injects it into the system,
Mhm.
like in the field with drip irrigation and the other greenhouses. So we fertilize that. And it has a pump that runs on. So it holds, it's about 1,800 gallons right now since the last rain.
Nice. Wow.
It works out good.
Yeah.
Saves the well.
This greenhouse, I pretty much, we put compost in the mix when we first start, and then I've added some fish bone meal and some, I think, seabird guana and some langonite, and that scrape it into the soil. So I just use the well water in here, so I don't get the injected fertilizer. But
Well, all the pots, we use a cement mixer to mix all the stuff. We put in our dirt, put in our compost, mix it all up, throw the dirt, put the plant in, get to the next one. We have a lot of plants that we do. So, like the tomato house is over almost 100 plants.
Yeah.
cucumber house is 100. There's probably a good 75 in here, so it's a lot of pots to stir up.
You want to walk down to the tomato house?
Sure.
Yeah. As we walk down, I'm going to also give you a view of the fields where they've got field crops. And we've also got an amazing stone wall project happening right here in front of our eyes. They're putting in a stone retaining wall that Kelvin is our stone working expert and is working on here. And then there's the fields where the field crops like peas and brassicas are growing. And
Lots of weeds.
And lots of weeds, yeah, just to make every farmer feel at home. Every farmer's got lots of weeds.
Well, if you do it organically, you don't use pesticides, so
Mhm.
you know it's impossible. It's an acre, so for hand weeding,
Yeah.
plain. This is my greenhouse. This is my tomato house. Right now, there's 98 plants in here, and they seem to be doing pretty good this year. 7 years. They're doing pretty good this year. Some years are better than others, and poundage wise, we'll see how what works out this year. The best year I ever had was about 500 pounds of ripe tomatoes.
Did you hear that? Did you say 500 pounds of ripe tomato?
Well, you figure if you get 5 pounds off a plant, 100 plants, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's not hard to get 5 pounds really.
That's
And,
fantastic.
But the trick that I do is to ripen them, and I kill the plants basically, and then the plants ripen. So
Stopped watering them.
I stopped watering, I stopped doing it. They shrivel up and they look terrible and there's red tomatoes.
So that's how you stop, like in my greenhouse, I'll get tons and tons of green tomatoes, but not very many ripe ones.
Yeah.
Being too nice to them, basically.
Right, you're being too nice. You want to shock them into
Okay.
ripening, so just cut the water off. And I used to do it in stages, and now I just like, what's the sense? I just cut the water off, say like in August, and they'll start to ripen really quick. Like, within days they'll start.
Fantastic.
And, so
Hey,
I'll pick
Robin, we have a question here.
Okay, go ahead.
Kay Babowski is asking, what size pots are they using in their greenhouse?
These are number 7s. They're called the number 7, so it's about
Is that like
gallons.
about a 5-gallon? Yeah.
Approximately 5 gallon. Number 7, I get them out of Alaska Mill and Feed, and that's the size we use.
For the tomatoes and some things. We also have some smaller ones for some of the peppers
Mhm.
and the cucumbers.
Cucumbers are small, they don't need as much.
Okay, shall we wander on over to the cucumber greenhouse?
Sure.
With further views of the Stonewall project and the house and the fields. Compost pile.
And this is the cucumber house here. And these cucumbers on this side are picklers, and the rest are regular, normal cucumbers, slicing cucumbers. And what I did was I started this row first, then this row first for the regulars, and then I start a second row later on, so we have enough to go through this, season. If you do just everything, it all comes out at one time.
Yeah.
Kind of so we can spread it out for people.
Are there some cucumbers starting to get mature that we can look at here in the pickling row?
Let's see.
Oh, look at them.
These are picklers.
Yum. Wow. Looking great.
There's lots of flowers, so there'll be lots of picklers.
Yeah.
There's probably more. Last year they were growing, there was so much. This is pretty normal to have. And later on, we were finding cucumbers down, and I found 1.5 pound cucumber sitting down behind there. And I'm like, where'd these come from, But anyway, yeah, they'll be about that tall.
Fantastic.
They'll start to put on cucumbers, too.
That's in another week or two, we're gonna be eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Flint Family Farms this year is, they've been doing a U-pick, but they're saying that because of COVID, it'll probably be more like curbside pickup.
Or
They
can
will-
come in.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll put on Facebook for sales cycle, and then if people are interested, they can come here and
Mm-hmm.
Still pick, but
sometimes we have a
schedule
lot
it.
of people at one time, so
Right.
it gets a little bit crazy.
So you're wanting people to call ahead and kind of make a date to come
Say,
and
yeah,
get
I
some
am
produce.
interested in cucumbers or tomatoes, or we'll sell bulk tomatoes, you get a cheaper price too. Like some people buy 20, 30 pounds at a time because they like to can them. So,
Okay.
I have that too.
We have another question. What's the white stuff on the ground? Ellie Korth is asking.
It's like a road fabric that they put down on the roads. It's Tyvek, like Typar or Tyvek. I got a friend of mine had some. It keeps the weeds, and it keeps them
Mhm.
dry too. And
Okay.
I mean, the weeds will come up as you can see, but you just pull them off. They
It's
don't
a
really-
lot less weeds than it would be.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I mean, they don't got holes. They sneak through a little hole. You just pull them off. And this greenhouse, I think, is 40 feet, 12 by 40. And that one is 32 by 24.
Yeah.
I'm going to put another
And then how much ground do you have in vegetables outside?
about an acre.
About an acre.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think unless there's more questions, I think we're gonna say thank you to these folks and then move on to our next farm. Are there any more questions for Bob or Linda? Okay, we're signing out here. Thank you so much,
Thank
both of
you.
you.
Enjoy.
They're looking awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bob and Linda. Looking forward to seeing you on Sales Cycle later. Robin's got a presentation on that Kenny's put together on Kenny Lake hayfields. She's going to share her screen. Haying with the Henrys.
Okay, is Kenny ready to talk a little bit about what he saw over there?
Yeah, I am. I just wanted to share a real short segment with just talking about like the hayfields in the area, specifically the Kenny Lake hayfields. And we have a gentleman, a family down by us at mile 16, and his name is Thad Henry. And he and his family, they hay probably close to 150 acres total every year of hay. And just a few things to kind of talk about, you know, for as far as like what he does, you know, what he needs to do that. Well, for starters, you need land. You need, you know, basically cleared land to actually grow your hay and grow your crop. He uses fertilizer every spring, and that helps everything grow, you know, healthy and to the maximum potential. He has varying equipment such as a tractor, you know, different cutting and baling attachments, fuel, obviously for his tractor, and then time. So those are just a few things that came to mind when I was thinking about everything that goes into what he does as far as just his operation. And, you know, it's not as simple as just cutting it, baling it, and selling it. There's a lot of other things that go into it. But they enjoy doing it. They do 3 to 4 different larger fields down here, kind of in that Edgerton, Kenny Lake area. And so I just wanted to touch on that briefly. And then there's a few other facts that Amanda has about hay and how much hay it takes, you know, per bale, per acre. And just a few things I put in here. So brome hay is a common hay that you'll find down in the Kenny Lake area. And it's used to feed, it's really good to feed animals. All kinds of farmers use it to feed their cattle, goats, horses, yaks. It's really high in protein, and it has a relatively low crude fiber content. So it's a highly valuable and sought after crop for feeding your animals. So just kind of a cool thing that is in the Kenny Lake area. If you've ever driven through there or you live there, you know what I'm talking about. You drive past all those big cleared fields, and they look beautiful in the summertime and in late summer. You know, and even after they're cut, they look kind of cool. Just cleared, wide open spaces to let the breeze in. So yeah, just a few things there. And as we kind of just finish up talking about hay, we're going to move into talking about some animals here. And I'm on location at the Buck Family Farm, which is also known as Escalation Acres. And they're down here at about mile 90 on the Richardson Highway. So we're going to go ahead and track down Mr. Buck, who is the lead farmer here. And he's just going to talk to us about kind of their operation and what they have going on. And if you have questions, just put them in the chat and we can go from there. But hey guys, so we're live streaming. This is Joe Buck, everybody. Hi everybody. This is Alex. And what's your name, little man? That's Jackson. Jackson, cool. And Mr. Buck is going to show us a little bit about what they have going on here and some of their operation. And I think we're going to start here at the hogs.
Yeah, so this is our boar and some of our sows. To kind of show you what we got going for feeding and watering. We've got this Conex here that we have next to them. This is where we keep our pig feed. We just got a toad in here, and we mix, right now we're mixing corn with a concentrate. So if you guys check out Pearson Square online, that'll tell you how to mix if you're doing like a 2-ingredient mixture like this. It tells you how to get the right protein. So you just take a shovel, one big grains, about half a bucket. A bucket weighs about 30 pounds, so we're feeding these sows and this boar about a bucket and a half a day.
Wow, bucket and a half.
And then what I do is I throw their feet out to them. When I first started doing it, I was putting in feed bowls and making it all neat. Like, I wouldn't want to eat my food off the ground, but pigs love to eat off the ground. So I just throw it on the ground now for them. Now they're busy doing that, so I'll throw my water buckets over here. We use these rubber totes or rubber feeding bowls, and they're nice and flexible. So in the wintertime, when the pigs don't drink all their water and it freezes in there, you can take it upside down, take a sledgehammer or take your foot and break that ice out of there. If you use a hard plastic, it's just gonna break.
Nice. Those pigs are hogging out.
And after I feed and water, I always like to go inside and give them some attention. This one here is Wilbur. He loves to get scratched, starts in her back there. So Wilbur's kind of a show pig. She won up in Fairbanks. Her dad actually sold down south for $275,000.
No kidding. You guys hear that? There's money in hog raising.
This is our boar. This is the pure Burt. Wilbur is a Yorkshire. This is the blue butt here. And I just love giving them scratches.
Joe, I've heard before of, I don't know if they're old fables or old myths, but when these hogs get a little bigger, would you ever be at risk of getting eaten or trampled, or what do you think about that?
Like I say, I mean, we're in here with them now.
Okay.
Get in with them. Spend some time with your pigs. You know, they're a very curious animal, so they're gonna go check you out, right? And they check out with their noses,
Sure.
then they're gonna check out with their mouth. And so if they start nudging on you, just push them away.
Okay.
I have had them eat chickens. You know, our meat chickens are just out roaming around.
Okay.
Sometimes they come in here, and the pig gets a taste. You know, they might like it, they might not.
Gotcha.
But I have had them eat chicken.
So it's good to start with them while they're, smaller, while they're younger. You just get them familiar with you, and
Yeah, you can see like this one here, she's a little more skittish of them. So she just jumps around, right?
Right.
Get away from it.
okay.
Where these other ones, they're more used to her. These ones are older. She's a year younger. So she just needs more time.
Sure.
And she's actually pregnant, getting ready to farrow. If you look right here on her belly, she'll list. See how there's kind of a transition there? She's starting to develop an udder.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how you know it's getting closer. And so what you can do is you can go and you can pull on the teat. And if you get some milk, you got about 24 hours.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Early labor indicator, folks. Nice pro tip. Cool. Well, thanks, Joe.
So you
That's
see
really
how I fed first in water and then I get in? If you don't feed first, they're going to be, they associate you with feeding them, right?
Totally.
So they're going to be a lot more pushy on you. And it can be really intimidating when a 300-pound animal is pushing you in.
What are these hogs weigh right now?
They're all at 300,
Wow.
400.
Wow. They carry it well. I wouldn't look that good if I weighed 400 pounds.
But you can hear these guys over here next in the next pen. They want some food. They're telling us about it. So I'll get them some water and feed just to quiet them up a little bit. If you spread their bowls out, it makes it a little easier. Because then you can just alternate back and forth. So these guys are getting ready for butcher. We're raising these guys up for meat. With the exception of this one right here, I think we're going to keep her for breed. So all the ones that are going to get raised up for butcher, like these guys, we castrate when they're smaller.
Okay. And why do you guys do that?
They say it can affect the taste of the meat.
Okay.
So see how much calmer they are?
Yeah.
You just calm right down. We give them lots of straw for bedding. Pigs have a hard time regulating their heat. So they like to have a wallow where they can play in the mud and stay cool. So that's why I'm not real careful about throwing water. It just makes a nice wet area where they can wallow in the mud.
Cool. Will they stay out here like in the winter time?
Yep.
Okay.
So we've tried lots of different stuff. This is probably the, I don't know, 12th iteration of a pen for them.
Wow.
We started out with pallets. Pallets work really well. It's a cheap way to go. You can get pallets for free a lot of the time,
Sure.
and you just screw them together. I do one pallet this way, the next pallet like this, and the next one like that. And that pallet that's this way provides stability for the fence.
Cool.
These horse panels, you can see they get dented up pretty good. I've got some concrete remesh that we wired to the panels over there. Pigs are escape artists, and once they figure it out, you've got to change it. You can't just fix it the way it was because they'll get out again.
Gotcha.
They're extremely smart and they're extremely clean. Like if you look in that back corner over there, that's where they're going to the bathroom. They're not going to the bathroom over here. I mean, every once in a while they will, but they're a very organized and clean animal. And you can see a couple of rocks. There weren't any rocks in here before or any sticks. So they've gone and rooted up this ground and dug up all those rocks and sticks. They're a great tool for prepping a garden.
Nice.
If you want to fix a spot that hasn't been used for a garden yet, throw some pigs on it.
I see this pig, Joe, doesn't have any ears. What's the story on this guy?
So this guy, his mom had a litter this winter when it was about 30 below. and it was in the middle of the night, of course. So she passed away, and all of her piglets passed away, and he was almost dead. But we came out, and he was still fighting. So we brought him in the garage and raised him for a couple months in the garage, and then he's just kind of had free reign since then. So he ended up losing his ears to frostbite. We've since transitioned this spring. We're no longer going to raise pigs year round. As far as for breeding, we'll have our breeders year round, but we're not going to be having litters in the winter time. We're going to go to more of a copying nature. So the nature things aren't having babies in the winter time. They're having them in the springtime.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're going to raise everything in the spring and throughout the summer, and butcher everything in the fall, with the exception of the breeding stock. So you can see they took that water, they're done drinking. Now they want to make a wallow, so they just dump it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Sweet.
So we can go check out some piglet.
And viewers, just as a reminder, if you have any questions, you just send them in the chat, and Amanda will interrupt us, and we can get those answered for you.
I guess on the way we can take a peek at the steer. So this guy is a Jersey. This is a dairy breed, so it's not big and buff like an Angus, but we're raising him up for meat.
Very cool.
We're gonna try him out.
So not, does this cow have milk right now or no?
No,
No,
so this is a male.
This is a male.
Yep. So
That's
he was
why you said
castrated.
steer.
Yep.
See, I'm learning too, guys.
And his horns, you know, he got to keep his horns. The females, when they're born, if they're not pulled means they don't have the capability to grow horns. If they have the capability to grow horns, we'll take an iron and we'll actually burn so the horns don't grow.
Okay.
Because it's a danger to the person milking and other animals around them.
Sure. Now, Mr. Buck, would this steer, you said you're going to raise it for beef?
Yep.
Is this a personal
Yep.
endeavor, or is this a share animal?
So it's a personal thing that we're trying.
Okay.
We've never raised a cow ourselves to butcher
Cool.
or a steer. So we're going to see how it goes.
Awesome.
If it goes well in the future, we'll look at raising some. And so we just moved him up here because we'll go down later and check out the other cows. But we have one that's just getting ready to have a calf.
Oh, nice. When is that? When is she due?
Maybe she'll have a calf when we get down there.
Yeah, all right.
So these are a couple different fairing boxes that we have, and we've got a couple different designs here. This one here has a square insulated box, and this one over here has a triangle insulated box. What we found is this square design provided a warmer space for the piglets. This triangle design provided more space for the sow.
Mm-hmm.
But the piglets, the doorway for going in there is really close to all the areas, all the space inside that insulated box.
Okay.
And so it was a lot colder.
Okay. Interesting.
We've actually got a third design that we tried this year that is actually our favorite. But you have to do something like this if you're going to have piglets in the wintertime, because they have to be 90 degrees when they're first couple of weeks. So.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty hard to do when it's 30 below out. It's not very practical at all.
Wow.
I mean, you have to go to like a building that was heated or something.
90-degree air temperature.
The sows throw a lot of heat off their body, and you have a lot of straw, but if the piglet wanders off, that piglet ain't going to make it.
Okay.
The ones that are smart enough to stay with their mom and stay under that straw, you know, they have a little bit of a chance. Let me scare. She's got one piglet left. We sold all the rest of hers. So this guy really is the size for a wiener. So a wiener is he's weaned off of his mom. So you take him away from his mom, put the mom back with the breeding stock.
Okay.
This is Tammy. She's a full-blooded Tamworth. So it's a heritage breed. It's not what you typically use for a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Slower growing, but really good meat. Really long. They call them the bacon pig.
Bacon pig.
The bacon section is the belly.
Tammerworth, you said?
Tamworth. Yeah.
Tammerworth.
So she was bred to a Old Spot, which is also a heritage breed, and so that's why you see a couple of spots on him.
So once this female is kind of done producing litters, this animal could be butchered for pork.
Yeah.
Cool. So gentle.
Super nice.
They are nice.
So this pen right here, she is trying to stay out of the sun. You can see she's in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
She'll take her water bowl when she drinks enough, and she'll dump it. So this gets really wet in here, and you want to keep it as dry as you can. So this is having to get cleaned out about every 2 days.
Wow.
And so we'll shovel it all into.
That's what these guys are
bucket.
for.
Yeah.
The worker bees.
And then we'll put fresh straw back in here.
Okay.
And all that waste goes down to our compost pile.
Oh, good.
We turn that into vegetables.
Sweet.
So this piglet here, he's 8 to 9 weeks. These guys here are about 6 to 7 weeks. You can see they're a little smaller. And then she's a blue bud, and she was bred to our boar over there, that Berkshire.
Okay.
Berkshire is also another heritage breed, slower growing, but a Berkshire is really the cream of top quality meat.
Berkshire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their meat looks a lot like meat. It's really red. Got a lot of good marbling.
If Joe, if somebody was interested in buying, maybe they contacted you 6 months or 9 months in advance, and they wanted a Berkshire piglet, would they be able to?
Yeah. So all these
Get
guys
that
in this
from you?
pen are available next week.
Okay.
And we've got a list of people that will just, once they're a couple weeks out, I'll start calling that list of people and say, hey, do you still want one? And then they can say yes or no and come and grab a piglet.
Cool.
And it's pretty rewarding to raise your own pig and sit down at the table and have a pork chop or have some bacon that you fed yourself and raised. It's just different than going to the store and buying a package.
That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely know where the meat's been, where it's from. What else do you have, Kenny? We're about done here, I think.
Yeah, we were gonna go. Joe, were we heading down to the bees now?
We can do that.
If Moses wants to do his goat demonstration, we can go ahead and do that. And then if we have time at the end, Joe's got a beehive that he'd like to show us too.
That'd be great. Okay.
Just maybe a final note on these guys. Are these
Yeah, so
younger?
these guys are younger. These guys are 4 weeks. So 4 more weeks, they'll be ready to go.
Wow.
So you can just see a few
Hey,
different.
Kenny, Moses has a question here.
And then this is that kind that I was telling you about.
Mhm.
And so what we did is we took 2x4s and we have her on one side. We just took 2x4s on these vertical pieces and block her into this one spot. And then that just allows her to be able to lay down and stand up and eat and not get up and walk around, because those first 7 days are pretty critical for the piglets. They have no orientation really, and you tend to lose some over her, stepping on them, or she goes to lay down and they don't have the ability to get out of the way fast enough.
Gotcha.
So
How much is a piglet?
Kenny, we have a question here really quick.
Yeah, go ahead with that question.
Moses is wondering how much the pigs are.
How much for a pig?
So for a wiener, it's $175,
175.
and that's about a 40-pound pig.
All right. Well, thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Cool. If Moses wants to go ahead and step in, he can he can take it from here, and then if we have time at the end, we can maybe talk about some beehives.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Moses Korth. I'm here at my own house today. We are going to be showing you some of our goats and our high tunnel and some rabbits and all the other animals that we have here. It's not like a full-blown farm per se. It's more of just stuff that we have to feed us. I have 9 siblings. I'm the oldest of 10. So yeah, we eat a lot. So we kind of need something in order to help substitute for all the stuff we eat. So over here we have some of our goats. I think we're going to actually milk one of them while we're here, and we'll show you how we strain the milk and stuff. This is all some of our goats. Where's Nikki? Hey, Nikki. You want to bring Nikki over here? Go ahead. This is Nellie. She's been with us. I mean, she's like one of the first goats we got. She's our oldest goat. They all want to get out now. This is Nikki. This is our nicest goat. It's short for Niki Shalanka, which is Arabic for praise the goat. Yeah, Nikki's a great goat. A lot of the baby goats want to get out right now. We're trying to keep them from happening. So over here, I'll go sit on the snow machine with my little sister so you can see. But this is licorice. No, not no. And this little machine she's right next to is our device. You put them in to keep their head still, and then yeah, you milk them. That and they eat the grain, and it mostly keeps them settled. But we have to tie up their legs in order for them not to put their feet in the bucket, because if they put their feet in the bucket, we have to get rid of all that milk, and it's a big waste because they have filthy feet. And a lot of them like to kick, so having their feet tied up actually helps a lot. So while my sister is milking the goats, I'm going to go over to the high tunnel and we can take a look at that. I don't want the moving camera to make anyone dizzy, so I'm going to turn the video off until we get over there, but I'll still be talking, so cool. Right now I'm going over to the high tunnel. My mom's here. She'll help tell us all about the plants, right, and stuff that we have here. And we have a lot of raspberries and strawberries on the sides of the high tunnel too, but I think we're going to be mostly inside of it for now. No, right now I'm off of video though.
So they can see?
No, they can't see, but they can hear, because I don't want the video to disorient them. So I'll turn it back on once we get inside. So here we are in the high tunnel, and it feels like an entirely different ecosystem in here. It's all nice and warm and muggy, and yeah, it's just great for growing stuff.
Yeah. You want to pick it around? We have a 70 by 30. So.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, over here. Oh, do you want to just? No, my mom's dealing with the boys. They have something going on. So we have a couple of zucchini plants, and mostly we have a lot of potatoes. But we have here's a strawberry bed right there, and this is a pretty flower. What type of flower is this, Mom? This is a poppy. Yeah.
Lots of green beans. and tomatoes. Green beans do really well in here. Got several tomato plants. And turnips is a new thing for us. Turnips are doing good in here. Carrots, of course.
Yeah, now we're gonna go over to the chicken coop. We have Red Stars, and it's a really, really good breed. We have 8 chickens, and they give us 8 eggs a day. And if they don't give us their egg quota by like when we check the eggs right early in the morning, then we deny them the sun until they do, which is usually before 11. But you know, we don't want eggs everywhere from here to Kingdom Come, so we make sure to keep them in their boxes till they lay, and then once they've all met their quota, we let them out and they can roam free. But right now they're all inside their cage. They have a little side area here, I'll show you soon, and they can be in there and have a little bit more freedom without being on the loose. This is a good thing for their protection. Some really good chickens. They'll lay, we got these from our neighbor, Jack Jones. He had these chickens through the winter and they laid an egg a day with no heat lamp. And even though the eggs were freezing, they still were great layers, and they're a pretty hardy chicken. So here's their kennel. There's some eggs in there. So a pretty good chicken habitat. Over here, the goat looks like it's pretty much finished milking, and they've already been milked today. You always have to milk the goats around the same time every day, and that we do that earlier in the morning. And if you don't, then they'll start slowing down and you won't get as much milk from them. So this is just a little bit of extra off the top that we were able to put in. I'll see if I can get a view of my sister milking that goat. She's pretty good at it. And should we show them? Are we ready to strain it?
Are we done there?
Hmm? So I think we're about ready to strain it. Until we could go look at the rabbits real quick. Actually, my guide that was going to tell me about the rabbits, my brother Shepard, actually had to go to a wrestling thing. It happened early, and it was kind of a little unexpected in the last minute. I can still go show you them, but I just don't know their names or anything. Naya can help me with that. First, I think we're going to look at how we strain the milk. I can't. Can you see that?
But I think they can. Go ahead now. Get all the mosquitoes and dirt out. Open the bag. We can freeze this. So far we have about a half a freezer full of milk. And we drink a lot of it. It goes to the freezer.
Yep, that's how that goes. Yeah, all right. So next we're going to go over to the rabbits. And I think this is going to be the last place on our list of things to see here at this place. If you can see on this side, there's a bunch of raspberries, a bunch of raspberry bushes. And most years the moose get into it, but we built a fence. So hopefully now that they're fenced in, they'll be safe. And over here, we have our rabbit hutches. Do we have any baby rabbits?
Yeah, his name is Sadronica.
That was Sadramica. I don't know why. We have one goat named Monsieur Goatee, because it's a goatee, I guess. Here's one of the rabbits. What's this rabbit's name?
It doesn't have a name.
This one is a no-name rabbit. My sister actually sells rabbits. They're supposed to be meat rabbits, but we've only eaten one so far because my sister doesn't like eating the pets, I guess. And they're mostly pet rabbits now because, well, that's just how she runs things. But yeah, she loves animals. She's great with them. And she's good help around the place. So that's the Korth place. Like and subscribe. See you next time.
Thanks, Moses, for the Korth family farm tour. Appreciate that. I like it. It's very good. Enjoy that milk this winter too. All right, we're going to go to Kenny if he's ready with Mr. Buck back there on the farm. Are you there, Kenny?
Are you summoning us?
Yes.
Hey, sorry, we're talking about fodder.
All right.
Thanks, Moses. Can we continue on?
Continue on.
All right, this is the bonus feature now because we're approaching 3 o'clock. Joe's been gracious enough to maybe show us his bee operation he's got going on.
I'll run and
Okay, thanks. He was just explaining to me while he's getting ready, they're experimenting with growing some barley here. This is actually some barley they planted where they used to have a pig pen. So kind of a cool thing. You let something, re-veg for a year or two and you seed it and there you go. Got a small little barley patch. So Mr. Buck is going to put on his bee suit. And he's going to actually show us what he's got going with his bees. So I'll meet him over here. If
gotta take my smoker. Put it down by the bee.
Okay. So be thinking of your bee questions here for Joe and send them over and we'll try to get them answered.
Hey, Jack. Stay up here, please.
How long you been doing the bees, Joe?
This is my 4th year. So I'm trying a new breed this year. They're Russian because we're going to try and overwinter where we're raising our meat birds, our chickens. It's an insulated connex for the first 4 weeks, and then we're kicking them outside to finish them out on grass. And I'm going to take that insulated connex and I'm going to try and turn it into a winter bee house.
Are you suited up, Kenny?
I am not. This
You stay there, Kenny.
might be interesting.
So just to show you how bees are shipped, these little bee boxes right here, they'll take a box and they'll take a funnel and they'll fill this box with about 4 pounds of bees. And then they'll take a queen bee, and it doesn't necessarily have to be their queen. They'll just take a queen bee and they'll put it in a little box, a little trap, and then they'll hang it right here.
Hmm.
And then they'll take this little can here. It's filled with a sponge and sugar syrup. Put that in there, tape it over, and then they'll throw that on the airplane and ship it up here.
Wow. And does that have to stay at a certain temperature? Or are they pretty hot?
They create a lot of heat, but they got to have ventilation. So that's why these are designed to be stacked where there's room in between.
Cool.
When you take and get the bees, you would take this thing out, you would take your queen out, you would put her down in the hive, still in her little trap, and then you would take and dump all those bees on top of her. And then you would put the lid on and you would leave that for about 5 days. And then you come back in and you, if she wasn't released, there's a little sugar plug that they eat through.
Mm-hmm.
If she wasn't released, then you would just open that up and let her out.
Gotcha.
So I'll go open up a hive and I'll bring a frame over and show you.
He's going in, folks.
So I don't know if you can hear me. I use this foam bubble wrap to help hold the heat down in the hive.
Foam bubble wrap to hold the heat in, if you didn't catch that.
So right now, last week I went and I shook all the bees down into this bottom box, and then I put a queen excluder down. My queen excluder only allows the worker bees to come up top. The queen then stays down. So she's laying eggs and making the nest down here in this bottom box, and then all the workers are putting honey here in the top.
In this hive, how many bees do you think, roughly are members?
They say like 10,000, I believe. So if you look at this, I've actually got, I don't know if I got the queen down low enough, because these are all capped
Oh, wow.
baby bees. And then you can see the shiny here, that's all nectar. It'll be turned into honey. So she's laying eggs here in the top.
Wow.
So I'll see if I can find you a frame that has cap.
Nice.
So those bees will hang out that doorway and they'll fan their wings and they'll dry all that nectar that's in here. And once it's all dried, then they'll put those caps on there.
Nice. So that's kind of ready to be harvested then, all the capped honey.
Take your finger, drag it through that comb right there.
Oh, baby.
Now just chew on the wax and then spit it out once you get all the honey.
Mm. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That was pretty good. Wow. Careful, young man.
Hi, buddy. I'll get you some honey later.
Wow. That's cool, Joe.
This right here, I use as an open feeder. There's multiple different ways you can feed. You've got this feeder here, which would sit on the top. The bees could come up through the hole and get the sugar syrup. You just fill this up with sugar syrup, and they would climb up over the top and drink it and then come back down. So in the springtime, before the flowers are going, before the pollen's going, you got to give them something to get going, to get started.
Sure.
So you do sugar syrup.
Kind of a primer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
So I do an open feeder, which I found from a guy on YouTube, Canadian Beekeepers blog, Ian Stepler. He does that. He does 1,500 hives in Canada.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
Wow.
And he does those open feeders, and it's just a quick way to do it. He also does top feeders with like buckets, but I'm really impressed with how that open feeder works. You just mix up a 5-gallon bucket and dump it in there, and you're done.
Nice. Very cool. That was a treat. Thank you. Do we have any bee questions from the audience here for Mr. Buck, the beekeeper?
There's Jersey cows down here if you want. Got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, let's take a walk. We're on bonus feature time. Whoa, is that rhubarb?
That's rhubarb.
Unbelievable. You guys, I don't know if you can see this, but this rhubarb is about 4 feet high. Absolutely humongous rhubarb.
I got a bee in here. No, don't touch that. Yeah, that's the smoker. I don't need it down here. We're going to see the cows. So these are Jerseys. We just moved these guys down about 3 weeks ago. This area here looked like that. So you
Wow.
can see how they completely ate all the greens.
Before, after. Thanks, I just figured that out actually. Was wondering why my leg was really tingling.
So these guys are ready to move again.
Okay.
So we actually just bought more wire. We're gonna move them right over there in that green area.
Now, Joe, I'm from Chicago, so you have to help me. A Jersey cow is a milking cow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this is Kitten, and she is really, really pregnant. She was due 2 days ago.
Wow.
And so she's got a calf in here that's ready to come out.
Usually they just have one, or can they have more?
They can have more, but it's ideal if they just have one.
Okay.
They do better.
Okay.
But you can see her udder there. She's holding a little bit of milk.
Oh, wow.
Yep. She's 4 years old.
Any day now. Hey, girl.
She loves to get rubbed on the chin. Yep, you can pet her.
that's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
So Kitten is expecting,
Yep.
and how about your other Jerseys?
And then we've got Tabby here. She's ready to be bred. She was last year's calf, spring calf. And then this is Annabelle. This is who we're milking right now.
Okay.
And she's kind of to the end. She's about ready to get rebred.
Mm-hmm.
But we're waiting another month so that we have our calf in the springtime. We don't want to have them in the wintertime. And then this is Annabelle's first calf.
Wow.
So this is Rose.
Beautiful.
And she'll be bred later this fall. And so we use these round bale feeders. We just got these this spring, and what a difference. You're going to save a huge amount of money as far as feeding if you use these feeders, because the cows tend to lay on the hay, they'll stomp on it, and then they don't like to eat it after that.
Okay.
So you'll throw a round bale to them, and they'll waste half of it.
Sure.
We were going through a round bale about every couple days. Now this will last over a week.
Wow. Big improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So it pays for itself pretty quickly.
round steel feeder is the future. Have these been around a while, or is this kind of a new idea?
I think it's been around a long time.
Okay.
But we're new to this, so
Sure.
figuring out all these tricks.
Hey, you're learning. That's cool.
And there's more beehives over there.
Oh yeah.
We've got our huge compost pile going here. So I try and stir that every couple of weeks.
Wow.
And then after the next year, I'll then use it in making more garden.
Very cool. Really appreciate you guys letting us on your property and showing us around. It's been a real treat. Everybody at home watching, this is being recorded so we can send this video to our friends even after this is done. And yeah, it was a real treat. So just want to say on behalf of the BLM and the Park Service and WISE, really appreciate you guys letting us do that and teaching us about what you guys do and your operation.
Yeah, it was our pleasure. And if anybody ever has any questions, feel free to get in contact with us.
Cool.
We'll see if we can help you out or point you in the right direction at least.
Just as a side note too, Mr. Joe Buck is the president of the Farm Bureau for the Copper Basin, Copper River Valley. So if you have any questions, he's the man to ask. That's about all we have. Thanks for the 12 minutes of bonus time, you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. That was awesome. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're just going to go over some information about
Thank you.
and how you can help support them. Did someone have a question there? Okay, so I'm just going to make this bigger here. Oh, it didn't like that. Okay. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about local farmers that you can see at the farmers market. And so just because of everything going on this year, it's not as prevalent right now. You don't have as many people coming, as many vendors, and as many people coming to buy things. But they still happen sometimes. And if you log in or call the numbers I posted here on the screen, you can find out a little bit more information about what they're planning on doing in the future and what a usual year might look like. But if it was a usual year, the Kenny Lake Farmers Market meets down at the Kenny Lake Fairgrounds, which is about 7.4 mile on the Edgerton Highway. And they always have farmers that come out and sell baked goods, things that they grow in their garden. And you can always just meet people that are doing really amazing things with their property. And then there's also a farmers market in Glen Allen that meets over at the Chiropractor Center at mile 187 on the Glen Highway. And they're not doing anything this year, but they might have some things coming up in the next few weeks where they would do drop-offs and that kind of thing. And so that would be a really interesting thing to support if you're interested, but you can always call those numbers. And then over here, we have a couple of family farms that you can support. And so Terry Van Wy has been in the area for a really long time, and he does a lot of raising of beef and poultry and pork. And so he's got a website and he's got a Facebook page, but he told us that the number would be the best way to get a hold of him to get some locally raised meat. And we also have a place called Escalation Acres that Kenny was just at with the Buck family. And so we learned a lot about what they just do, but you can always call that number and get a hold of him and learn about what they do on their farm and get some more detail. And we got to meet the Flint family as well. And so learning anything about them is really important. And you can always check out their website on the Copper Valley Sales Cycle, or they post on bulletin board on Facebook. And so I would really encourage you to get a hold of some of these people. And Robin, if you're ready, I'm gonna ask you to talk about some of these farmers here.
You bet, yeah. Wenger's Country Store down at Kenny Lake at about mile 10.3 on the Edgerton is a great source of local food. They raise cattle and pigs and often have local meat there. They'll have eggs from neighbors. They have produce when possible from right around the Kenny Lake area. And then they also bring in Alaska grown produce. Like I know right now they have lettuce from the Vanderweel Farms, and they have products from the Alaska Flour Company in Delta. So they're a great source for local food. And then Wood Frog Farm out at mile 11 on the McCarthy Road sells produce. Tenley Nelson, just if you email her or contact her on Facebook at Wood Frog Farm, she can tell you what she has and arrange a way to pick up. And then the Copper River Red Spud Company, which is Doug Bowman. He grows lots of produce, and he says, give him a call and he can tell you what he has. I actually was just over there visiting with him, and he has cucumbers already that are just so sweet and crunchy. So those are some of our local farmers. Many of them are changing how they're doing business this year because of COVID. So they've been saying, just contact them and they'll figure out a way to get some produce to you.
Thanks, Robin. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the screen. Here are the organizations that helped put this together, and I just want to open it up and do some questions. I saw that someone had a chat, and I'm trying to figure out how I can look at that. Let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing that for just a second here. Okay. So does anyone have any questions for any of our farmers or any of our presenters, or just some interesting comments to share about what you learned? You can type it in the chat, you can grab the mic if you'd like, but just while people are thinking about any questions they have. Thank you guys so much for participating. We were really excited to have people come and learn about all the amazing things farmers are doing in this area. We don't often see what they have going on because we just see, you know, drive down a road and see mailboxes, but behind those trees and behind those driveways are just some amazing ways people are providing for themselves and selling things and offering things commercially. And so it's just a really amazing way that we have of living out here. And so just, I don't see any questions here. So I just want to thank everyone for coming, and I hope you guys have a great day, and let us know if you have any feedback. I'll put this contact screen back up and you can send.
Yeah, Amanda, this is Robin. We will be posting the recording of this session on the WISE website. And we will also, I will get all that contact information for the farmers and producers and put that on the WISE website, because I know there was a lot of information really quick there. So you can go to www.wise-edu.org and get the information in a form where it's easier to capture.
Great, thank you so much, Robin. And then this recording is going to go on the website as well, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I think so. Okay, so with that, I will let people just, I'm going to check the chat here. Oh, thank you for the feedback, Katie. It was really cool to see what people have going on for agriculture. So thank you very much. All right, so with that, I'm going to end the meeting for everyone here. Thank you so much for coming, and let us know what you thought, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Amanda.